Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. First Tuesday of the year, first Tuesday of January. I'm so excited you guys are here tonight. I'm going to share the science and technology with you of how this product works, LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch. Some of the other patches, of course, as well, too. And of course, I'll be answering all your questions. So before I get started, because I know we're running a teeny bit behind. Before I get started, my name is Dr. Staci. I hold a PhD in integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine. Been a holistic health practitioner for 20 years, and I used to be a school teacher. Believe that? Long time ago, 30 years ago. So I love to teach. I love to educate. I love to help people. And my passion has always been health and wellness and kids, of course, but teaching people how to improve their quality of life. So with that, I am not your doctor. I am actually my family's doctor, right? And the clients that I have and patients that I have. But you have your own doctor, your own practitioner. So if you have questions, please always ask them. This information that I'm giving you tonight is informational. We are definitely not here to say we're going to treat or cure or diagnose anything at all that's going on with you. And I am going to be answering your questions, but I ask you to please ask me questions in regards to your symptoms, things that you're experiencing, because like I said, I can't talk about diseases or syndromes or disorders and what this technology can do to help them, but I can talk about how it can help your systems in your body, your organs and your cells and your tissues to get your body back into balance. So when you're asking questions, make sure you direct them towards that grocery list of problems that you have that you'd like to cross off for 2023. And so that's our goal this year, is to be able to cross all those things off your list that are bothering you, that are hurting you, that are causing you to have a lower quality of life than what you want and then what you deserve. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the tech, tell you how it works, and then, of course, the frequently asked questions that everybody has, and then I'll open it up for questions. So you'll have plenty of time to ask your questions. You're going to ask them in the chat. So this is what the patch looks like. It's a non-transdermal patch. This patch signals your body to activate, elevate, mobilize its own stem cells, and actually resetting a third of the genes in your body back to their young, youthful, healthy state. How does that happen with this little round Band-Aid? So I'm going to explain that to you guys real simply, okay? You're probably familiar with transdermal patches like nicotine patches or birth control or estrogen patches, pain patches, things like that. You stick them on an area that something hurts, or you stick them wherever, and they're putting a chemical or a substance into the body. Remember, I said non-transdermal, nothing is transferring into your body. So how does this work? This is a wearable light technology, or technically we call it photobiomodulation. I'm sure you guys are familiar with red light therapy, blue light therapy, laser therapy, the far infrared, near infrared, saunas, and the pads you can put on, and the things that go in front of your face when you're, at the esthetician getting your facial, things like that. And so those types of lights on the outside of the body are photobiomodulation as an outside light source. So you're probably familiar with those, red beds and things like that. So this uses our body's light as the source, okay? So it's not an outside light source coming in through the skin into the body doing something. We're actually using the body's own light. We emit a low-level infrared light or body heat. You can put your hand to your chest, you're 98.6-ish, right? And how do we know this? We can go outside right now. Those of us that are sitting here on the East Coast, Laura and myself, it is dark. We can't see our neighbors. We can't see animals outside unless we're looking through night vision goggles, and then you can see the outline of the person. That's what this technology is working with. So when you apply this patch, see that white part? Embedded in that white part is a crystal lattice structure. Now, not an amethyst crystal, not a clear quartz crystal, okay? So I want to make sure you understand this crystal lattice structure is not going to go into your body, okay? So this structure is made up of an organic, proprietary blend of amino acids, sugars, oxygen, and water. So that lattice that's embedded in here, you put this on your body's heat or light is going to reflect back a specific wavelength of light from this patch. That wavelength of light elevates, activates, mobilizes and resets your stem cells. And it does this through the pathway of GHK, Cu, copper peptide. So all the patches I'm going to talk to you about tonight, because you're going to ask me different questions, they all have different crystal lattice structures. They're different solutions of the amino acid, sugar, salt, water, oxygen combination. So they're signaling different peptides. They are doing different things in the body. And again, non-invasive, nothing's going into the body. So that's great, because we know then there's no side effects. There's no contraindications. There's nothing going in, so there's nothing to interact with any medications you're taking, any supplements you're ingesting, or any therapies or modalities or anything like that that you're doing. It can only work in conjunction with that to help and support what you're currently doing. And again, never harming you in any way, right? And how do I know this? Well, because we have over 90 clinical studies. David Schmidt is the inventor of this technology. This company is 20 years old. He's the owner of the company, the CEO, and he started it 20 years ago when he was working for the Navy SEALs. He was asked by the SEALs to contribute something to help with endurance and sustainability and stamina and energy of the SEALs in the field. And 20 years ago, he invented what's called Energy Enhancer. This patch triggers beta oxidation, turns body fat into fuel. The SEALs had such great success with it. Everything was going fantastic. They were able to reduce or eliminate their caffeine, their amphetamines, their uppers, all that. And then 9/11 happened. And when that happened, of course, our country took a very different turn. No longer was on the projects they were on with the Navy SEALs that David was on, and they went to bear more arms and protect the country. So David thought, you know what, this is really good. This is really beneficial. If you remember back then, the energy drink craze was hitting the market, and it was really causing a lot of problems with people, right? And so this right here was a great solution to that, safe, effective alternative to help people with endurance and stamina, energy throughout the day, sports, athletes, and everyday average persons, right? But what David did was he spent 2 years in clinical studies with the Stanford USA Olympic swim team, the Stanford swim team, the coaches, and really, really honed in on how this is working and had those 2 years of clinical studies. And then he started LifeWave 18 years ago. Over this 20-year period of time, he's invented a dozen patches, a dozen. The X39 has just been on the market now almost right at 4 years, this patch here. So very new to the market. But this patch, what I'm wearing here, is the patch that signals your body to activate and elevate and mobilize its own stem cells, resetting them again. I want you to understand that back to your young, youthful state, at least a third of the genes immediately. And each gene expresses to multiple genes, right? And so we see a compound effect of using this day after day, week after week, month after month. A lot of people ask me, well, how long do I have to wear this? Is this something I have to do for the rest of my life? And I'm like, well, how long did your doctor tell you you're going to take metformin for the rest of your life? How about Lipitor? Oh, forever. How about Protonix? Every single month, you're going to CVS to refill that. Oh, how about your gabapentin? Yep, every month you're in. Ambien, done. Xanax, Ativan, all of it. Yep. So I'm joking with you guys, but I'm really being serious. Like if the doctor says you're going to need this for the rest of your life, you're going to go fill that prescription every 30 days, you are. I'm not telling you you're going to need this for the rest of your life, but I am telling you that this is something you definitely want to use for at least 1 month for every 10 years you are old. So if you're in your 50s, you're going to start with 5 months, 60, 6 months, 70, 7 months. Why? Because it takes your body that time to get up to its own full stem cell regeneration. We know when we're young, we have an abundance of stem cells. That's why kids are kids. They have boundless amounts of energy. They sleep at the drop of a hat. They fall out a tree, fall off their bike, break bones, and they get up and they take off running like they've never missed a beat, right? Because they have those stem cells in their body that are always working to repair and regenerate their body. Well, as we age, our body has less and less stem cells that are active and mobile. By the time in your 30s, and I'm guessing, I can't see all of you guys right now, but I'm guessing there's quite a few of you that are way past your 30s. Maybe there's some that are in your 30s, but by the time in your 30s, you've got about half the stem cells in your body that are active and moving to work to repair and regenerate. That's why you start to see the lines and the wrinkles, and you have the sleep issues and the metabolism issues and the aches and the pains, and you start to have digestive issues and things like that start to come about. Your body's just not repairing itself like it used to. And then, of course, by the time in your 60s, less than 10% of those stem cells are moving. What does that mean for you? It means that your body's ability to repair itself is dramatically decreased. And so this technology takes your own stem cells, which are in your body. You were born with them. You're born with an abundance. They're called pluripotent stem cells, which means they can turn into any cell, tissue, or organ in your body. Takes your own stem cells, resets them, your genes back to their young, youthful state, and they go to work to repair your cells, your tissues, your organs, your systems in your body in whatever order your body needs. They take old tissue, old organs, cells, and turn them young and new again. How do we know this? Because David's done over 90 clinical studies. You can go to startx39now.com. You can see all of the clinical studies that have been done on all the patches. You can see all of David's patents. He personally holds over 130 himself, majority in regenerative medicine, right? Stem cell technology. But he has a lot of patents in the area of all things wellness to help people improve their quality of life, all different types of technologies. But this patch here actually has a 20-year patent. We're in year 2.5 right now of that 20-year patent. So that means you're not going to get this anywhere else. This isn't something you're going to find at CVS or Walgreens or GNC. This is going to be word of mouth. People are telling people, the word is starting to spread, right? Especially here in the United States. This technology was primarily in Asia up until just the last 4 years. And then it's really started to take off here. And so we're excited about that, because that means here in the United States and all over the globe, we can help more people, because more people are plugging into Zooms and they're helping and sharing the information. And that's what this is about, and helping people improve their quality of life. And so with the X39, this is something you'd wear every day. You actually put it on the back of your neck or below your belly button, CV7 back here, or below your belly button. The reason why I say those two spots, those were based on the clinical studies. You had to have a set routine that everybody, all the participants did, right? Day in, day out. And know this, because I say this every day to people, it works anywhere. It doesn't matter. You don't have to stick it on the back of your neck or below your belly button. You can stick it on the side of your face. You can stick it on the top of your hand. You can stick it on the top of your foot. It doesn't, bottom of your foot. It doesn't matter. When you're working with the body's light, this is working at the speed of light to signal peptides in the body. It's working systemically, which means throughout the body, no matter where the location. People always ask me, well, if my knee hurts, do I put X39 on my knee? Well, you can. I'm not going to tell you it's going to get rid of your pain. That is not its number one job, right? The number one job is to reset 1/3 of your genes to their young, youthful state and to get your stem cells mobilized. You may have pain reduction from X39, and there have been people that have. Obviously, I put X39 on Laura's shoulder. 20 minutes later, her shoulder pain was gone. Is that common? No, right? We use a patch called Ice Wave. If you want to eliminate your pain, this is the patch we want to use. But sometimes with people, the increase in the GHK-Cu alone will help to reduce that pain in their body. So some people do experience pain reduction. Some people experience better quality of sleep. Laura's husband, Tommy, first night, slept like a baby, like he'd never slept since he remembered in his entire life, from one X39 the first time. That didn't happen for me, and it didn't happen for my husband. Neither one of us, well, really, he felt stuff about maybe 10 days in, pain reduction, things like that from lots of old motorcycle accidents. But me, I didn't feel anything for 3 or 4 weeks. And really, it wasn't that much that I felt. It was more like just more endurance in my exercise and more in my brain as far as like, woo, speeding up that processing time. But that's really it. And so everybody's going to be different in what you feel and experience. So if you sleep better, if you have pain reduction, if you have more mental clarity, energy, we Zoomed with a lady earlier, Cindy and I did, and she said, I just feel like I have more mental energy, more clarity, and you could see it in her face. We've Zoomed 3 times now, and you could see it in her eyes. And, she said, my mom's just sharp as a tack now, and she was declining big time. And, it's been a few weeks for both of them. So sometimes that stuff happens earlier, but our clinical studies show 3 to 6 weeks is when the majority of people are going to start to notice some differences. Sometimes it's 3 to 6 months. We're all different. Here's the thing, that no matter what, you will need to understand, it's working from day one. Every single day that you're wearing this patch, it's working to repair and regenerate what your body needs first. It may be your spleen, it may be your kidney, it may be your liver, it may be your heart, things you don't even feel that are repairing and regenerating. Like, for example, Dr. Harmon. What was he, 6-7 months in using the patches, and his right branch bundle block which those do not go away. Those increase your, your mortality rate. So, or decrease your mortality rate. That's known. Like they just don't go away. And about 6-7 months in, his just disappeared, like gone. His cardiologist was shocked, like no explanation where this went. His PVCs he's had his entire life gone. Like, how does that happen? Well, we know every 6 weeks using the X39, your heart is functioning, your entire vascular system is functioning as if it were 8 weeks younger. We can see this in the studies, not at week 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but at week 6, we can see massive improvements in the entire vascular system. So what happened to Dr. Harmon from using this for 6-7 months? Massive improvements in his cardiovascular system, right? And he's not the only one, of course. We have a great Telegram channel, and your upline or the person that invited you here can get you introduced to that Telegram channel to be activating. We have all of our testimonials. We have over 3,000 recorded testimonials on that channel. And so if you have a specific thing you're interested in, if you want to hear about a specific issue that's going on with you, they can share personal testimonials from people from the links that are in there, because they're all recorded. So with that being said, before I go on to any questions, because we've got just a couple minutes before I was going to open that up, I want to talk to you about Eon. Eon, to me, in my opinion, and in David's, and I'll share with you what he said, Eon was the #1 selling patch until X39 was released. This is vitally important when you're using X39. And the reason why is because Eon reduces inflammation. Inflammation, as we know, is a root cause of disease in the physical body. All your doctors will tell you that you've got so much inflammation in your body, your inflammatory markers are through the roof, your C-reactive proteins, your cytokines, your lipids, your fibrinogen, all of this is off. We've got to get your inflammation down. Well, Eon reduces your inflammation systemically in your entire body. And so when you reduce inflammation the same time you increase your body's own stem cell production, then you set the body up for a more rapid, dramatic regeneration process. How do we know this? This is what David says. So let's say we'll talk about a stem cell injection for a moment. Okay, I spent 10 years of doing stem cell injections with my daughter in and out of this country. So let's say, for example, with Laura. Laura's shoulders hurting, range of motion issues, pain, right? All that stuff. She goes down to Panama, spends 25 grand to get a stem cell injection into her shoulder. How's that sound? $25,000, you on the next flight, right? $3, 25,000. I don't know. I've been there, so I understand. But so say you inject stem cells right here in your shoulder. This is what you're wanting to fix. Well, there's inflammation in there. Of course there is. That's why there's pain. That's why there's lack of range of motion. And so what happens is the inflammation is going to come and consume the majority of those stem cells. Say the doctor injected 2 million stem cells, you're probably going to be left with 200,000. Do you want 200,000 or do you want 2 million? So that is why we always use the X39 and the Eon together. We want to reduce that inflammation in the body so that your body's own stem cells can go to work and do whatever they want without having to be consumed by the inflammation in your body. Plus a side effect, beautiful side effect from Eon, is it puts your body in a parasympathetic state. Parasympathetic means calm, rest, relax, digest, versus sympathetic, which is go, 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 fight or flight. So do you want to be in a calm, rest, relax state? This is our happy patch, right, for anxiety and stress. Or do you want to be in that fight or flight, go, go, go? And so these two patches together will address the root cause of the issues in your body, reducing the inflammation, increasing your body's stem cell production, so it's going to work to do what it needs to do without having to fight over the inflammation. And like I said, lots of other perks and benefits from using the Eon at the same time. That's why we call these a dynamic duo. It's why when you tell me anything you're going to ask me about your issues, I'm going to say this is your starting point always. I want you to jump out of the gate with these two patches right here. Now, if you're in pain, as I mentioned earlier, Ice Wave. Doesn't fix your problem, but it's better than Tylenol and Advil. Nothing's going in the body. It's going to open up those energy channels and get rid of your pain on the spot. That's what it does. Okay. And then from there, of course, we do have other supportive patches. Like I said, I'll kind of gear that based on what your questions are. So if a client's going to have hip replacement surgery, what patches should you wear leading up to that? Well, Laura, let me just ask you to unmute yourself. Sorry. Unmute yourself, Laura. She had a hip replacement last year when we first found out about this.
Yeah, I started using the patches about 2 weeks prior, and I started out with X39, Eon, glutathione, carnosine, and energy enhancer. That's what I started using because one, I was so gung-ho and so excited to get every patch on my body. However, I did keep it down to 5, but I can share with you when I got home from the hospital that afternoon, I immediately, or my husband, peppered me with all those patches. And then at night, I started including the aloe vera. Aloe vera is all about the skin and the beauty, but it does so much more for healing, as well as the carnosine, glutathione. They pumped a lot of pharmaceutical into me when I was laying on that table. So I really wanted to take action for that immediately and start detoxing that out of my body. But, Dr. Staci, that my healing time, because of the patch, because of the combination supporting all the different systems, my healing time, you guys, was cut in half. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I'll be happy to share my pictures with anybody if they want to reach out so you can see them. But, I'm a little over a year now and you can barely see my scar. And, that's kind of nice when you're a bathing suit. You don't see that big, long, So that's what I would start out with, would be those. Very simple.
Fantastic. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Can you explain more about stem cell activation? We all have cancer cells. How do we know if X39 activates only good stem cells and not the cancer cells? I'm having difficulty imagining that LifeWave patches are selective and only activating good stem cells. So if you go to startx39now.com, you can see the clinical studies that have been done on the X39 stem cell activation patch. We have 0 participants that have reported in 4 or 5 years now. Actually, we've had 10 years total because, well, I take that back. It took David 10 years in the lab to figure out how to do it. So we have 14 years of studies. And you'll see in the studies, some will say X10, some will say X15 or X20 on the different variations of the patches he was working on over the years to signal that stem cell activation production in your body. But here's the thing. These patches, all of them, are designed to put your body in balance. And so they're not going to go in an excess in the wrong direction. So you're not going to take something, for example, glutathione. Like, it's not going to put so much glutathione in your body, cause your body to make too much glutathione that it's going to be detrimental or harmful to you. The technology is always about balance and not going way one direction or the other. This is not like a supplement where you can overdose on something because you have these pathways in your body. And so it's signaling that GHK-Cu, copper peptide. If you go to a website, it's reverseagingwithghk.com. You can see Dr. Lauren Picard has spent over 50 years doing clinical studies with the benefits of increasing your GHK-Cu, which in turn then is what's increasing the body's stem cell production, because it's mobilizing one cell. It's P63 is a specific gene that's being mobilized to get your stem cells mobilized. And so you can see Dr. Picard's research on cancer and increasing GHK and the benefits of doing that for repairing the body and reversing the signs of aging and of disease in the body. So definitely we have 0 reports in the 14 years with this patch of it turning on cancer and causing cancer in someone's body. If you're concerned, of course, please check with your doctor if you have more questions. Can you address the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the patches and which helps with these symptoms and these aspects of our living? Yep. So definitely the X39 works mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I remember Gloria, the first thing she said to me, she goes, I just have this general sense of well-being about myself that's improved. And I don't know what it is, but I actually want to do my laundry. And I don't ever want to do that. And it's just like, I want to get up and do something. I just feel better. So what's happening is this is working again throughout your entire body. Part of that body is your brain, right? And so when you look at forming new neural networks, new neural pathways in the body, we see things wiring and firing differently when genes are reset back to their youthful, healthy state. And so we do see improvements, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually with people in their improvements with their brain with this patch. We also, and you can see that there's a massive, I think it's like I don't know, 50 pages. I've actually got it sitting here on my desk. I've got to go through the rest of it. Clinical studies just with X39 and the brain. It's crazy how it impacts the brain. And we know, but when you're resetting things in the body and the brain, you can see the reduction in the stress. It's all in colors. You can see the brain mapping in colors in these studies. So it's really impactful with how it is affecting us on a mental and emotional level as well too. But when you want to look at any kind of stress or anxiety, things like that, of course, Eon, like I mentioned earlier, helping your body get in that parasympathetic state, but also Nirvana. Nirvana is our patch. We call it our bliss patch. And so this signals neurotransmitters and neural hormones in your brain to bring that back into balance. So it's working definitely on the brain, in the brain aspect for stress, anxiety, worry, fear, depression, resentment, guilt, shame, all of those detrimental emotions. The Nirvana is working to bring that body back into balance on a neural hormone neurotransmitter level. So this would be fantastic for that as well too. Okay, so what patches, why can we not reuse patches? Why do they need to be thrown away? That's a great question. So inside of this patch is that crystal lattice structure I mentioned. And that structure, once it's put on your body like this, your body's heat or light is communicating with it, right? It's a biophotonic exchange of information. Your body's light communicating with the light in the patch. So that lattice starts to dissipate after about 12 hours. It's just what happens. It only holds its structure for that time frame, and then it starts to dissipate. You take it off, you throw it away, or you can put it in your pet bed or on your pet collar, and you use a new one the next day. Your body needs a break from it, and it is no longer effective after that 12-hour period. Of course, we know this from clinical studies as well too. So you definitely don't want to reuse it. You're not going to be getting those benefits. I talked to somebody earlier also. She's like, well, maybe I'll just, she said, I used to use it every other day or every third day. And she said, I really wasn't getting any results. And she said, the last 2 months I've been using the patches every day, and I'm blown away by what's happening in my body. I'm like, consistency is key. Brand new patches every day. Absolutely. As far as with your immune system or autoimmune issues, you definitely would want to look at the X39, the Eon, carnosine, glutathione. Carnosine and glutathione are the two big antioxidants that your body makes. So each of these patches signal your body to make more of its own glutathione, more of its own carnosine. And those antioxidants go to help to repair the body, repair the cells. They get rid of free radicals in the body, toxic cells. For example, you can find clinical studies on carnosine removing aluminum from the brain. We know glutathione is the master antioxidant detoxer and immune booster. And these patches signal your body to make more of its own. So not putting anything in that's an exogenous source, a supplement, a suppository, or even an IV push. It's putting your body in charge of itself, saying, let's do more of what you did when you were younger. That's what this is about. Again, it's about resetting the body back to its young, youthful state. And like Laura mentioned, with not only with her hip to get rid of the toxins from the heavy metals and all the stuff from the hospital, but also from her breast cancer treatment that she had almost 5 years ago now, using IV vitamin therapy, nutrition, supplementation, detoxification. These were the two big things she used. And so using these helps the body get back into balance. So that's super important when you're looking at your immune system. What are the possible positive effects for people with lupus, and what patches could be beneficial? That would go right along with that. What are the studies about glutathione and its help with detoxing? So if you go to startx39now.com, you will see that this patch is going to signal your body, a peptide in your liver actually, to increase its own glutathione level, 300 to 400+%, sustain it for a 24-hour period. And so all of that information is in there, of course, too, in the clinical studies. But glutathione's a master detoxer. We know that, master antioxidant. And so you can see the improvements in the studies as well. Best placement for ice wave patch when there's painful edema in the hands, knees, and feet. And what if pain is 24/7, more so at night when it's inactive? Should the patch be used more than 12 hours? Okay, so here's the thing. Ice wave, you can use 1 set or 2 sets of ice wave. You can't put ice wave all over your body in all these different places, okay? So you would definitely use X39 and Eon. And what I would recommend to do is use X39 Eon pick the 2 spots that are the worst, in the worst pain, and I would put the ice wave on those spots. Or you could do the bottom of the feet. K1 is an acupuncture point that eliminates pain or opens up those energy channels in the body to help alleviate pain. You can use the ice wave on that spot, or even maybe your low back. That's a great place to break up the energy to help open up those energy channels in your low back. But you can't wear this 24/7. Like, you can't wear that. You've got to do 12 hours on and 12 hours off. Sometimes people do these during the day, and then they'll do ice wave at night to get help. Again, I don't know that these are going to get rid of your pain. Sometimes they do with people. I had Cindy tell me earlier she had knee pain on her right, let's say right knee. She put the X39 on the inside of the right knee and the Eon on the outside of the right knee, and poof, the pain went away. That was just her experience, right? We don't have clinical studies on that, of course, but that you can play around with them. So you can, but you can only use them 12 hours. So here's the next thing I would recommend. If you're someone that has full body pain, it's all over. I would look at Nirvana. Nirvana has a patch, and it also has a supplement. The box is over there on the credenza. But the Nirvana, when you use the patch and the supplement, what happens is it increases your beta endorphins. Those are your feel-good hormones, happy, nice, loving, all that kind of stuff, right? That's why we call it our bliss patch. But what we found from the clinical studies was about 1 to 2 weeks in, all participants had 0 pain in their body, like none, gone. And so we used the Nirvana, obviously using the X39 and Eon, but we used the Nirvana system to be able to eliminate full body pain. Because this has a patented technology in it that sustains the beta endorphin level, you have 24-hour coverage. So this was what I would definitely recommend if you're full body. And you can still use the ice wave at the same time as well too, because it does take a couple weeks to get your body with the Nirvana to where that beta endorphin level is elevated enough to eliminate all pain. Beta endorphins from this technology that are elevated are 20 to 40 times more powerful than morphine. So, but obviously 0 side effects. Okay, so is it going to help with gas and heartburn and discomfort? So I would use the X39 and the Eon, and I would also use the SP6. SP6 works on the entire endocrine system. It also works in the intestines, all the organs. So that's a great patch to use when you're looking at your digestive tract. Anything to help with breast firmness and slight enlargement. Moms and older ladies in general who've lost volume try to avoid toxic implants. No. No, that's the first time I'm waiting for Laura on that one. That's the first time I've been asked that one. We don't have anything to enlarge your breast or firm them up. I would do exercises, butterflies. Laura's a trainer, like get in the gym. Aloe Vera works great for the skin, but I'm not going to say that it's going to enlarge your breast by any means. It may tighten your skin up. We do see that with people with crepey, saggy skin, loose skin. We see the improvement with the X39 and the Aloe Vera with their skin. Would the ice wave help with nerve pain due to stroke, and would you recommend a different patch? So when you look at the brain, you look at X39, Eon, and carnosine. Okay, so this is what we would use, brain. You could also add the 49 if you want. All of these patches work fantastically in very different ways to impact the brain. And so if there's nerve pain, absolutely, you can use the ice wave on the location, or you can put it, like I said, the bottoms of the feet. It's whatever works best for you. You can use just the X39. Like I said, we see great improvements in the brain, but we know that carnosine as an antioxidant loves to hang out in the brain, balance left brain, right brain hemisphere, improve cognition, communication. Obviously, there's been injury to the brain. You've got to reduce the inflammation. And again, X49 is also totally different, but clinically proven to impact the brain in a positive way. Someone with diabetes, neuropathy, COPD, we're just going to say all the diseases, and I'm just going to skirt around those. So if you're just coming on, make sure you try to give me some symptoms that you have instead of the diseases. So when I look at People that have blood sugar issues, I definitely, obviously, again, X39 and Eon. We also look at carnosine for its impact in the pancreas and how it can work with the glycation process to help with your blood sugar issues. I already mentioned neuropathy, COPD. I would definitely do X39 Eon. Probably be beneficial to do energy enhancer on the lung points, which are up in here. To help get things moving through the lungs up in that area. We see that with long haulers a lot. People have a lot of stuff stuck, and the energy enhancer helps that for sure. As far as tinnitus, you could definitely use the X39 and Eon. You can put them back behind the ears, or you can put them up here in front. I have people that use the energy enhancer right up here on this point to get things moving in that area as well too. So those would be great. Glutathione would be great. You probably have some heavy metal toxicity, so that would be a great patch to help as well too, to get those that ringing in the ears out. So as far as so again, when you're looking at the brain, you have to look at X39, Eon, carnosine, X49. So you can take your pick of those, use all of those at the same time. You absolutely can, but that's what we look at when we look at anything neurological in the brain. As far as regenerate liver, kidneys, intestines, spleen when they're damaged, oh, well, X39, that's what it does. It regenerates, it repairs, it's your body's own stem cells. I would definitely use the Eon and the glutathione as well too, for sure. Probably carnosine would be a great addition as well. Does glutathione or any other patches help remove glyphosate and heavy metal nanoparticles? So here's the thing. We don't have clinical studies saying that these patches, this glutathione is removing this specifically, okay? Because then we would, again, make claims that we can't make. And so we know that glutathione is the master detoxer and the master antioxidant. And so helping your body to eliminate the things in there that are toxic, right? Like I said earlier, we can see clinical studies from carnosine, not saying specifically this patch, but we can see clinical studies from carnosine removing heavy metals, aluminum from the brain. That's just, you can Google that, right? You can see that. So what's going to happen if you signal your body to make its own carnosine? You can make an assumption that your body's own carnosine would be able to help with that process as well too. So hopefully that can answer your question. Is Nirvana patch used by itself, or is a supplement necessary? If you want just to bliss out and help with stress and anxiety, just use the patch. If you want to get rid of pain, you have to have the supplement with the patch. They work together. Is this a lifetime commitment? So in the beginning, I addressed that, and it is not a lifetime commitment. You use the patches for the length of time that you want. We recommend based on your age, because it takes time for your body, your body's own stem cells to get up to their full stem cell regeneration. It's 1 month for every 10 years you are old, is that general rule of thumb. I always say stop patching when you want to start aging again. If you looked at Gloria's before and after pictures, she's closer to 70 and she looks closer to 30. If you look at Laura's, same thing. This woman's 60 years old. Leah, almost 60 years old. Why are they still using the patches a year plus later when they're past their time? Well, not for vanity reasons only, right? Because what happens is, you guys, the outside of your body is a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside of your body. These ladies and many others look so much younger. They feel so much younger because of what's happening on the inside. They check those things off their list. And so their bodies on the outside are a representation of what's happening on the inside. So it's your personal choice. If you want to use them for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, that's totally fine. I will be honest with you though, I would not expect to see anything dramatic in the first 30 to 60, even maybe 90 days. I think people see little things. Sometimes you hear those stories of people having crazy results, but for the most part, in my 1.5+ years experience with this specific technology, and like I said, over 10 years of doing different types of stem cell technologies and different types of things with my daughter, it takes time. And so that's something, again, there's that compound effect. You put the patch on today, you're resetting a third of your genes today to their young, youthful state. Every gene expresses to 1 or 2 other genes. that compound effect over time, day after day, week after week, month after month, is going to exponentially improve the quality of your life, reversing your cells and tissues and organs in your body. And we see this from years of clinical studies, and obviously years of those of us that have been using the patches. And you're talking about the price of a cup of coffee a day. So it's not like we're talking about $25,000 for one stem cell injection. I spent over $100,000 out of pocket for my daughter doing different types of stem cell therapy over a 10-year period. So I understand the cost. That was just stem cell therapy. There wasn't everything else on top of it. So I understand, time and commitment and cost and things like that. But know that the longer you use these, the more benefits you're going to gain from them. The patches, I'm glad to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Pam. We can't say that the patches actually heal the body. The body heals itself, right? We were created to do that. Our body has its own innate ability to know how to heal itself. That's what stem cells do, right? They're the holy grail of healing. But this technology assists your body in that process by helping your body to mobilize its own stem cells and resetting them so they can go to work to do whatever is needed in your body in whatever order is needed. So, Dr. Kathleen, when you look at the brain, again, you would look at X39, you would look at carnosine, Eon, possibly X49 as well too, and definitely glutathione if you need to detox from anything going on inside of the body. Testimonials on parasites. I don't know. We'd have to look on the Telegram channel, but it was a big topic of discussion today with parasites, the full moon on the 6th. And so it's time to get your parasite detox out and start right away. I know my whole family started today. Trey's like, what is this? And I said, drink it. Just drink it. You drank it when you were little. You just don't remember. It's time to drink it again. And he said, it tastes like tea. I was like, yeah, I guess it does taste like tea. It tastes like a concentrated tea. You know what happens when you steep the tea too long and it's like, ooh, it's a little strong. That's what it tastes like. But I don't know about as far as the patches and parasites. We've never actually even talked about that. So we'll have to look and see if there are any testimonials on it. What would support the body okay, so again, with when you're looking at autoimmune type things, Carly, again, X39, Eon, glutathione, carnosine. If you have pain, Ice Wave for sure. Heart issues, pacemaker, overweight, autoimmune, pains. All the ones I've already mentioned. Heart patches are the same as the brain patches. Believe it or not, heart-brain connection is massive in your body. So when you look at the heart, you look at these, right? Like I said, every 6 weeks using this, we can see an improvement in the functionality of your entire vascular system as if it were 8 weeks younger. So this alone right here is massive for your heart. Can't tell you it's going to go repair your heart first, okay? I cannot pick, you can't pick for these stem cells in your body that are activated to go to work to repair your heart first. I know that it will. And we saw that, like I said, with Dr. Harmon, you see things over time. And so why do we use supportive patches? Well, we use Eon because it reduces an inflammatory marker called fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is a direct link to cardiovascular disease. Google it, research it. It's not cholesterol. That's just what they can sell you a pill for. So go look at fibrinogen level and look at your fibrinogen and how that impacts your heart and your vascular system. Also, carnosine, like I said, huge antioxidant, loves to hang out in the brain. It loves to hang out in the heart. It loves to repair the heart. It's your largest muscle. Carnosine loves to repair muscle. And so that's a huge benefit for your heart. You can look at research in carnosine, just carnosine itself. Researching carnosine and clearing clogged arteries. I would love for you to check that out and see what happens just in general, not saying with this patch, but just in general, carnosine clearing clogged arteries in the heart. I don't know. What happened if your own carnosine level was elevated? What would that do for your heart? I don't know, but we can make an assumption. And then, of course, we would look at X49. X49, again, signals a different peptide, AHKCU, impacting the brain, like I said, impacting lean muscle mass, bone, huge for bone density, but also huge for the heart. We can see great benefits from that. You can use all of them together, or you can just start slow and work your way up to what you want. It's totally up to you. Just like Laura, she's like, give me everything now. Other people are like, I just need to start slow. You have to do what's best for you. That's what you have to remember. Believe it or not, we've been conditioned to believe that we're not in charge of our own health. And so we go to somebody and they tell us what to do and we do it, and then we do it and we go to somebody else and we're compounding all of this stuff. And I'm not saying that doctors are bad. Trust me, there's many times they've saved my child's life. So we lived in the hospital for an entire year when she was 4, almost 6 months in ICU. So there's definitely a need and a place. But what I'm saying is you're in charge of your health. You're in charge of your life. You make your decisions. And I know there's a lot out there. It can be daunting. The information can be very overwhelming. And so I think it's great to look at what's going on with you and gather your data. Gather your data. Take your data to your doctor and say, hey, what about this? What about this? I'm going to make these dietary changes. I'm going to do these detoxes to get this stuff out of my body. And I'm going to stop eating the crappy excuse for food that we have on this planet right now, or at least in the United States, of course. And I'm going to clean up my diet because I'm in charge of that. I go to the grocery store, I pick the foods, and I know that processed, packaged, refined sugars and crap and hormone and antibiotic infested meats are not good for me. So I'm going to pick the really good, healthy things that are going to feed and nourish my cells. And I'm going to take some information to my doctor. I'm going to say, what about this? What about that? What should I do for this? What do you recommend? And so definitely, be educated and be open to learning about what's going on with you. Because at the end of the day, there's no one that cares about you and your health more than you do. All right. I know that firsthand, right? No one does more than you do. And so you can take control of your health and control of your life and learn and make educated decisions so that you do have the best quality of life. And that's what we're here for, is to help you, to give you more information so you can say, okay, this makes sense. This sounds good. Let me make an educated decision and let me use this to help improve my quality of life, whatever that may be that you need, right? Energy enhancer is not for ringing in the ears. It is for increasing stamina, endurance, energy in the body. Someone was asking about ringing in the ears, and I said energy enhancer would probably be really good right here because it moves that energy in your body. And a lot of times when you have ringing in the ears, there's just stuck energy there, right? That's why I said put an X39 or Eon back here behind the ear. Restless leg syndrome, X39 Eon for sure. Definitely put it on your legs. Put it where the leg is jumping. Eon, remember, puts your body in that parasympathetic state. Another thing that'd be great for you is, and for all of you, every single person on here needs to be making sure that you're getting electrolytes every day. Most people, 99% of the people, are deficient in electrolytes, specifically magnesium and potassium. And so making sure that you are getting electrolytes every day, half your body weight in ounces of pure water daily is vital to your health. If you don't like the flavor of it, put lemons and limes or mint or rosemary in it, something so that you will drink half your body weight in ounces every day. A little pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt would be fantastic. Or get some type of electrolyte supplement. I had somebody ask me earlier if Gatorade is acceptable. Gatorade is never acceptable. There's never anything that's acceptable about it for you or your child. It should never be allowed in your house or in your body. So make sure that you're getting hydrated and make sure that you have those electrolytes, specifically magnesium. And take Epsom salt baths, get rid of some of the toxins in your body. That'll be fantastic. Okay, so let me see where I was. Gloria. Love you too. Okay, so if a person has a hole in their foot that was made deeper by surgery to get infection out, what would be the best combination? Yikes. So definitely X39, Eon, and carnosine for sure. Probably glutathione would be beneficial. I would put them all around that area, but X39 obviously speeds up wound healing. We know that for a fact. Stem cells do that. There's a million clinical studies on stem cells doing that. Just stem cells doing that, not our patch, right? But we do see wound healing, of course, in our clinical studies as well, too. Eon, reducing the inflammation area. Carnosine is great for tissue repair. So that would be fantastic for that area. You could also use glutathione if there's any kind of infection in there. Zinc is fantastic. Yeah, you should definitely be getting, I hope you guys are getting multivitamins and multi-minerals, especially the minerals. I hope you're getting minerals in your diet every single day. If you're not, you definitely should be. You can't expect to get it from your food. Even if you're growing your own garden, which would be fantastic. I'm sure most of you aren't. I grew up with 2 gardens, massive gardens. We had 6 acres and I think 3 acres was gardens. And so even if you have your own, the soil is not the way it was. When 40 years ago, the soil was fantastic, right? It's not that way today. And so we're just not getting the nutrients. So finding a really good source of nutrients and absolutely eating good, organic, fresh grown food is fantastic. For most of the country, though, it's winter. And so there's nothing local, fresh grown organic in your backyards. Now here in Florida, we are still, right? Laura and I are living it up down here, still at 75. We're like, oh, it's chilly. It's 75 outside today. We're putting on our sweaters. I know. I thought about that earlier. It's like, oh my God, it's 75. I'm wearing a sweater. But anyways, you guys, getting great food is amazing too. And you can take zinc. You can. I would just, take a great mineral. Take a great mineral supplement would be amazing, right? Like a colloidal mineral, something that's bioavailable for you immediately. Explain how to patch for Parkinson's. I can't explain how to patch for Parkinson's, sorry. So you would just put the patches on based on the instruction booklet. So the patches I mentioned earlier, each patch has its own placement as a guide. Again, based on the clinical studies, you can definitely see that we have a system, right? All the participants in the studies wore the patches on specific locations. So it's kind of a controlled environment, right? And these are acupuncture points. All of our studies were done based with traditional Chinese medicine, that these patches on these points impact specific systems in the body. And again, those are on the clinical studies. You can see carnosine impacting the organs in the body like crazy. It's amazing. Not only to mention, like I said, the heart and the brain and the muscles and tissues and things like that. So you would go by what instructions are in there. Okay. Can you use carnosine and glutathione alternately since they last 24 hours? You can, definitely. You can rotate them one every other day. If you've got some serious issues and serious toxicity in the body, I would use them daily. So I think this technology is excellent with acupuncture. Absolutely. Got a lot of acupuncturists on my team, definitely. Can you leave the patches on when you get in an Epsom float? Perhaps the crystalline structure wise. I wouldn't, just because it's one thing if you're taking a shower, or if you're going for a swimmer, like we go to the beach, we got our patches on, but if you're like sitting there floating in a salt solution, they might come off. So I would wait till you're out of that. I'm sure you're not going to be in that for more than, even if you did a float tank, it's 90 minutes, right? I'd wait to get out. Any suggestions? Nope. I definitely can't talk about cancer. I'm sorry. We just can't talk about specific diseases, and we're almost out of time. But if you want to look at improving your white blood cell count, look at your cells in your body in general, then you would definitely look at X39 and Eon for sure. And will the patch deactivate if the sticky isn't firm and inside the patch gets wet in the shower? Nope. The white part is inside of the 2 polymer films. Okay, so as far as replay goes, it will be on my YouTube channel as soon as I'm done. It takes about 10-15 minutes to convert it and then to upload it. And it's Dr. Staci, Staci. How many patches can you wear daily? As many as you want. When Laura and I met David last year, he was wearing 12, and we're like, 12? There wasn't even 12 patches at the time. He's like super experimental patches. And so we're like, okay, but I'll be honest with you, the Silent Nights and the Alavita must be worn at night. These are nighttime only patches, okay? The rest of the patches can be worn during the day. You can wear whatever you want. I recommend you start slow. Like I said, I always recommend X39 and Eon and maybe one other supportive patch or 2, depending on you and what's going on with you. So you can just see how you feel. Not that you're going to feel bad, but I want you to feel yourself, like feel what's going on inside of my body. Like, what are the changes? What am I noticing? We use our health tracker to keep track of that. If you don't have that health tracker yet, make sure the person that invited you gets you this so you can keep track of your progress over the coming weeks and months, all the way out your 90 days for your first 90 days. So definitely start here. And then again, like when I started, I used 5-6, I still use 5-6 patches every single day because it's a choice, right? I'm all about prevention. For me, this is solely about prevention and vitality and longevity. I did not come to the table with a single thing on my grocery list of problems. A year and a half ago, I didn't have anything on my list of problems, and I still don't. And so I want to keep it that way. And so that's why I do the things that I do and why I use the tools. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. Like I said, I've been in holistic health for 20 years. So my toolbox is massive. And I'm always adding new tools to that, things that are working, that are helping. I've just never found anything this impactful in 20 years in this profession. Nothing has come close to being this simple, this easy, this effective, this affordable, with no complications, interactions, side effects. it's just mind blowing what's happening to people on a daily basis. And some people shared in here, of course, too, but definitely get back with the person that invited you. They can help you customize what works best for you, what patches you want in the pack that you want. And if you have other questions that didn't get answered, I apologize. We are out of time. But the person that invited you can definitely get those questions answered for you. And of course, they're connected to somebody else if they can't, that can help you. So thank you guys. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you on the Patching Podcast.